You were at the QP announcement this morning?
I was at the QP announcement this morning.
Would you mind telling me a little bit what you make of it?
Let me remember. Oh yes, I remember. How do you remember what it was about? Salt, right?
Yeah, yeah, snow removal, snow plow.
So yeah, what I make of it was I reminded the media there and the QP leaders and the public how this whole discussion really rose to the surface again this time and around, and it was because the frontline workers were coming to some of us MLAs in confidence and expressing their fear about having to turn down and have their salt trucks calibrated, right? So that a smaller blast goes on the road of salt or sand. And that started this whole discussion of changes over the years in the department with manning and staffing and equipment and timing that trucks go out on the road and things like that. So that led to today's press conference and QP calling on the minister to have another look at the winter maintenance program, I guess, and overhaul it. So they have some pretty good points in there, I think. It really, there was a lot of finger pointing of who was at fault and who wasn't and who did what when, but it really created an opportunity for the minister now to really grab onto this and to be a hero if he wants, and sit down with QP and with the right people. And I think really the right people are the frontline operators, right? It doesn't have to be a consultant company from out of province. It can be these frontline workers. They're experienced. They know how to do their job, and they can even tell the minister how they can be more efficient, how they can get the job done easier, and actually save some money. Those savings could be put back into buying more trucks and having more shifts. So it would take some time, but they could pull that off. I know they could. I know a lot of those guys and there's retired employees too, right? That have a lot to offer as far as mentorship with new drivers and helping come up with a plan to do it. I mean, there's other ways it can be done. It's not about money either. There's lots of money in the system. Obviously, the minister said he's dumped, what, 15% into that budget. The results still aren't there yet, so something has to change, right? When I play hockey, I try to play hockey. When I coach minor hockey at a pretty good level, if your breakout play isn't working, you always say, let's go back to the basics. So here's a chance for him to go back to the basics and see what we're missing. Is
the salt pressure calibrating stuff is at the heart of this, at the center of this, you think, or is it bigger? Or?
No, it's bigger, but it was able to spark the whole conversation and get that, the discussion going of what's going on here. Why, and people in the communities and the public, they're tired of just not seeing results from money being spent. It's just there's no results that are there, and then you get hit with a weather cyclone, I think it's called, or something like that, and you get anchor ice and all these fancy words coming out, but the bottom line is it started a discussion, and we need to turn that energy into a positive and make something happen to this, that everybody can, at the end of the day, can win. The public, the government, the opposition, the operators, everybody can win here on this now.
And you're saying that if the minister was to sit down with the workers, that would go a long way?
Oh, absolutely a long way. Now he says he goes and meets with all the at their sheds and stuff, and I'm sure most ministers do that, and they go to they visit, bring them in the boardrooms or whatever. But for some reason this time they weren't being listened to. Some of them actually, we heard from them, they were threatened with their jobs if they didn't go along with this recalibration. So that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know why, if they say there's lots of money to spend, why they were so hard fast on it, other than the next whole chapter, the whole discussion on the salt supply and the quality of it, and that's another discussion that we can have another time. Thanks, John.
Thank you.